first and foremost for taking over last show because you did so great. I know John Cena was on here with you.
Yeah, John Science and First Financial Bank. Yeah, we had some good discussions about bridge loans and Texas home equity. Loans, getting cash out, stuff like that. So it's really good information. Good visit with John, and we'll have him and his commercial lender back
Oh, sweet. That'd be
in
great.
the future to talk. So we'll get
Yeah.
them back on the show.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to that as well. So, today we're going to have an awesome show because one of the reasons why you helped me with that show was because I was going on vacation.
Traveling America. T-
Traveling America.
Tell us about it.
Oh man. My husband and I, he has a Harley. So we rode the Harley and we went out to Louisiana. I think we stayed in like Morris, Louisiana first because we had to have one stop, like a pit stop. And then we went to Pensacola, Florida, where there's beautiful beach houses. We stayed in a hotel, but of course, I'm being real estate. I'm looking at all the real estate out there and looking at all the beach houses. And we had a blast. I got my husband to get out on the beach for the first time. He would only go waist deep, and that's more than what he was going to do. He said he'd only get ankle deep, but he did go all the way into the water. Beautiful area, perfect for Airbnbs and tourist attractions in Pensacola. We had a blast.
Now, is that like the Orange Beach area where Alabama and Florida meet?
Yeah, so actually we did end up going to Floribama,
Okay.
which it's like right there with the Orange Beach and Pensacola do somewhat kind of meet. They're very, very close. So yeah, they opened up this restaurant. It's actually more or less in Florida, but it's called Floribama. We went there and it was amazing. That place is perfect, perfect, perfect if you want to have some live entertainment while visiting out there in Florida. It was, I mean, different bands all over. They had 3 different places within one building, basically, that you could walk around into, and even outside and even out to the beach. So actually 4 technically where live bands were playing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was awesome. So they even have a live band that plays on the beach.
And different kinds of bands, so you get
Yeah,
different music.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So you have your bands where there was like a kind of bluegrass, I guess, kind of band, and then there was a country rock, band that was playing, and then they had this other young lady that was a country artist singer. She was incredible. I mean, I can imagine she'd be hitting it big at some point.
Got to have some Jimmy Buffett if you're down by the ocean.
Oh
At
yeah.
some point,
Well,
it's
we
got to be
didn't.
some Buffett playing.
Well, unfortunately, we didn't get to make it out to the beach because we got there so early that we didn't get to pay, and you have
Mm.
to pay. Like they open it up to pay for the different bands and stuff and coming into the actual restaurant band areas, and we were just there a little earlier, so we didn't have to pay for it. So we didn't actually get to. You have to get stamped, and then you can go out to the beach. But it was okay. We still had a
Cool.
blast. Plenty of still to see. Plenty to eat. Watch out for bushwhackers.
Okay, what's a bushwhacker over there?
So a bushwhacker is a couple of different rums and what's that 51? What is that one whiskey? There's a whiskey I think that's called 51 or something close to that you can add an extra shot to. Don't do that. Okay, trust me, it's
Oh,
good just by itself without the extra shot. We did that at the because I won Keith Urban tickets.
nice.
Yeah. So
I thought you were talking about people jumping out and robbing you or something. No, you're talking about the
oh,
drink.
I'm talking about
The
the
drink
drink.
taking you
Yes.
down. Oh yeah,
Yes, there is a drink called the
I
Bushwhacker.
understand.
It is very, very well known to the locals, and the locals are going to be the first ones to tell you to get some and drink some. But they're going to tell you to add that extra shot. Trust me when I say this. If you are, just have one. Do not have more than one. They hit you. They come up pretty quick. They
Like
hit you hard.
like a hurricane in New Orleans. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. Like a hurricane in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yes,
Wow.
absolutely. So after Florida and the Airbnbs, I really do think that if you are able to find a really good deal, if you're looking at, investing in Airbnbs, that would be a great vacation spot. It was very, I mean, even when we went, it wasn't the most common time frame to go, really, right? But it was still very big, busy, very hectic. Not too hectic. I mean, it was still fun. We had a blast, but again, that'd be a great place to have an Airbnb, I feel.
Well, okay. Talk about what kind of area, like what kind of structures do we have? Are they single families, duplexes, apartments? What are they? Condos?
So basically, they're the houses that are, built up. Like they've got
Oh,
the stilt houses. I think that's what they're called. Oh my gosh,
yeah,
I should know this.
yeah. They got the stilts.
Yeah, the stilts, yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like the ones that we have at the lakes right here.
Hmm.
So they have to be like that because flooding area, right? You have your posh potential, the beach taking over
Yeah.
tsunamis, but I mean, I don't think we really get. I don't know how often Florida gets tsunamis, but I think it's been a very long time since one has happened there. I think those are more known in like
Pacific
Pacific.
Ocean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Not really the Gulf. So, but yeah, it was awesome and it was incredible. The structural the way that they're structured, you can have anywhere from 3 to 6 bedrooms in these places. So I mean that really opens it up for you to even maybe even make a bed and breakfast, kind
Hmm.
of Airbnb even, or not Airbnb, but just make a bed and breakfast instead of an Airbnb. You have those options out there.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's nice, just to have your own house to you. Yeah, so you rent these out. It's a house on the beach,
Yeah.
looking at there, and yeah, well, you could bring family. You could bring a lot of your family, friends out there. 6 bedroom.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to park a lot of backs. So
And you can get those couches, like, so an Airbnb that we stayed at, and I'll get to that a little bit later, but it did have one of those fold out couches.
mm,
So even though it had just like one bedroom in the living room, you could close off the bedroom and you could have another couple sleep out on that fold out bed on the couch,
as long as they're comfortable, and
as
you
long as
don't
they're
and you don't
comfortable.
catch that bar across the middle of your back. It just depends on the what do you call sofa bed,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sofa
sofa
bed.
bed is what they
Yeah.
call them. Yeah, I know. I've slept on some good ones, and I've slept on some. Oh,
So
good.
it, it,
So
it
hopefully they're good.
it's how you sleep on them. It's your positioning. So if you sleep sideways on them where the bars aren't going to get you, that's how you do it.
Yeah, I'm pretty tall, man. I mean, like my knees be hanging off. But okay, okay, I'll keep that in mind next
Yeah.
time I'm doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't see if we have any. Okay. I can't see if we have any comments. Hopefully we don't have any comments. Tiffany, if you're listening, we might need that comment deal opened up. It closed up on us for some reason. Anyway, so we had we had such a blast in Florida. So we spent about 3 nights there, and we just visited a lot of different tourist attractions and whatnot. And then we went, and of course, we had to hit up the Harley stores, right? So we hit
Mhm.
up a Harley store. That was a blast. They ended up having Christmas in July, little thing. And so they had the radio station out there, they had Santa out there, and we hit it off with Santa. So that was really cool. And
Wow.
right, and he was the reason that I even put in for the Keith Urban tickets, because he was like, "Hey, if you guys want to put in for him, I'll pick them up if you need me to, and then you guys can make a decision if you want to come, or if you want me to hand them out to somebody." I was like, "Okay, cool, let's do it." So we did. We ended up putting my husband put two in one for one concert for the Keith Urban, and then I put two in for him and I for the other concert. We At that point, we were still like we forgot about it. We didn't even think another thing about it, and then we started heading out to New Orleans.
So you're out in Florida.
Yes,
So then you're doing it. So that was the further. Of course, you can't go much further, right? Then
right.
it's ocean, right?
Yeah.
So then you turned around and said, "Okay, now we're heading back to Louisiana."
Well, yeah, because we were going to go to Louisiana and actually stay there and visit New Orleans and have some fun there for a little bit before coming back to Texas. Because
Right.
we had to stay in between. It's too much of a ride to ride on a motorcycle without staying somewhere for a little bit and resting
Yeah,
your butt.
for sure.
It's different than riding in a car for sure. So we had such a blast. Just even well, and we stopped in Alabama so my aunt lives in Gulf Shores, right over there by
Hmm.
Orange Beach. And Orange Beach actually was where the Keith Urban concert was going to be
Mm.
that we put in for. So we started heading out, and we went to New Orleans, where I got to tell you, New Orleans is the coolest place ever. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, it stinks," and there is a lot of I felt like there was less than what people were trying to make it out to be on the homeless end of it. How many people were really street sleeping on Bourbon Street in the French Quarters. We did see quite a bit of that, but not as much as what I felt like I was hearing from others. And the smell, I don't know if it was that big storm that hit them or what, but it did not stink. From what I
Good.
was being told. Yeah, they were all like, be careful of the smell. I was like, it wasn't even bad. So New Orleans is still a hot spot. The French Quarters is amazing. And that's kind of some of the things that I wanted to touch base on. So, the French Quarter is located on the banks of Mississippi River, where New Orleans was established by the French in 1718. And so the housing, the architectural structure that they put together and the thought that they put into these properties is actually really neat and very educational. So they first started constructing it of wood, right? Which quickly decayed in the damp surroundings. So today, only the French colonial buildings remain. The only one that remains is the 1750 Ursuline convent,
Mm.
which as now the archive of the Catholic, I don't even know how to say that, archido, archidosis,
Oh, Archdiocese. You
archdiocese
see, it's
of New
New
Orleans.
Orleans. Yeah, that's the nuns are over there,
Yes,
and a few padres.
right. Isn't that
Yeah,
awesome? So I thought that was
cool.
some pretty cool, like the past, like all of the past and all of the things that we heard just being in New Orleans, some of the history of it was the coolest part, I think, for me.
Mm.
And they've got the awesomest opportunities. Awesomest. They've got.
You sound Cajun.
I do sound Cajun now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's because I stayed maybe a little too long.
Uh-huh.
Um, but they have these Airbnbs out there with, it's just when you're walking down there, and you're seeing these possible Airbnbs or even these apartments or places where people are actually living that are locals, you're just taking it all in. It's so much and it's so beautiful and it's so different from what we're used to here in Texas. So, of course, me being real estate, I'm like, this is awesome.
Yes. There's nothing like it. The French Quarter. I've been there several times, and over the years. And the only problem I ever saw with people laying on the street was the people that drank too many hurricanes and stuff. I didn't see the homeless issue. I saw too many hurricane issue.
Right.
At pados and stuff. But it is so cool in that area to be able to just walk up and down. You got Bourbon Street, and then just you're right with all the hotels. All have everybody's walking out
Yeah.
covered. It's crazy. It's like nothing you've ever seen.
Right. And it's great vacation spot too. There's a
So
lot
were
of
people fishing along the Mississippi where you were looking at it, or what? Did you talk to some of these people that were in the B&B?
I did not, well, I did, but that goes into a little bit later into the story,
Oh, okay,
which
okay,
is crazy.
cool.
Yeah, I can't wait to tell you
Yeah.
this because when we went to New Orleans, we actually stayed in a hotel. And now after I was looking at all of the different, structures and stuff, I was like, there has got to be some Airbnbs down this down this road. There has to be because that would be perfect for tourists to be able to stay at. And then I met a lady while we were walking Bourbon Street. She asked if she could walk with us. She was by herself and it was got pretty busy. And I was like, yeah, come on, walk with us. And she was staying at an Airbnb right there on Bourbon Street.
Mhm.
I was like, wow. So
That's cool.
right, you can wake up or you can wake up, have some coffee on because so what I love is those like French lace, the French lace railing that they have
Mhm.
around on the balconies of these places.
Yes.
It's beautiful. And to be able to sit and then they have these little cafe kind of like French. It's almost like you're in Paris, right? It's almost and then you sit out there and you're drinking your coffee or you're just sitting out there drinking your hurricane, watching everybody, people watching. I mean, it's perfect. And listening to the live music
Yep.
be a great Airbnb idea,
That's yeah. I mean,
right?
that's what people go for, and then especially can can you imagine during Mardi Gras or something? Not that you even need a Mardi Gras
No.
because in New Orleans, every time I've gone, there's been a special event.
Oh, yeah.
This kind of parade's going on, that kind of parade. Those people find a reason to party.
Yeah.
So just about every weekend you go there, there's going to be a reason to party, and there's going to be a theme going on.
Absolutely. I 100% agree.
It's
I think so too.
tons of fun.
Yes, I agree. So after we kind of walked around and I saw all these different buildings, we went to it was down the French Quarter, so it's where more locals go. We decided to go to where more locals go instead of all the tourists because it's still just as fun, and wanted to see the structural buildings too. And there was this place called the Vampire Cafe, and it was really close to where part of the Michelson's house. It's a if you I know this is silly, guys, but I did watch this. I really liked it. The originals. It was a spinoff of Vampire Diaries on Netflix.
Oh Lord.
The Michelsons, they stayed in one of the spot. Like I saw where they stayed, where they lived, and where they filmed. So we walked right past it. So that was really cool for me. I wish we could have gone, through the hallway and actually saw where, because inside on that, if you watch the show, it has when you walk onto the inside, there's this big huge beautiful fountain in the center of the structure, and then it has those railings and different stories and balconies that oversee the fountain, as well
Mhm.
as going into the different rooms that are inside the housing. Like it's like a square shape. Are you guys visualizing this with me?
But it's not in the house yet.
It's not a, it is well it is, but it isn't. It's the coolest thing. So you can walk all the way in, and then there's like this dining area and then living room, and but on the upstairs is all the bedrooms, and you have to go back out where the fountain is to go up to the stairs to go into the different bedrooms.
Hmm.
It was the coolest thing ever. I loved it. That's why it was I really wish I could have seen all of that you know, right in front of me, but unfortunately that was all locked up. I couldn't get in there. I tried. I did try.
Maybe Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise are doing a sequel, and you couldn't get in the door. Get an interview
Maybe.
with the vampire. Who knows?
That hey, they need to think about doing something like that. That's not a bad idea. um, but yeah, so it just that was the coolest part. And then the Vampire Cafe was really cool. They just really had it set up because that's where they filmed it. So they kind of had all these like different kind of spooky. Some of it was kind of eerie, especially. And but it was awesome at the same time. You were intrigued.
Like different colored coffee drinks, or what? Tell me about it. What?
What was the eerie part?
Yeah, something. What's up with it?
So it was basically you were just walking, and it was just him and I there for a while, walking through the French Quarter trying to find this at night.
Mm.
And so we found it, and then it was just really quiet. Like there wasn't a whole lot of bands or anything. You didn't hear any people. You kept looking behind you to make sure nobody was like following you.
Oh,
But it was so much fun at the same time, and it was actually really good. Like, we didn't have any problems with anybody. Everybody was very friendly. We made some great connections with different people. And everybody there, they loved that we were from Fort Worth and that we rode the Harley out there. Like, everybody wanted to interact and talk with us. It was really cool. Like, we had a really good time. And then when we went to the local spots, so there's this one place I love it. It's called Aaron Rose. They have the best spiked coffee I've ever had in my life. I wish I knew how to make it because it was so good. Like I have to go back to New Orleans just to get this coffee. I kid you not. I got the cups and
spiked with what?
it was spiked with gen gen not what is that whiskey that starts with the J? Jameson.
Oh, Jameson.
Yeah, it had
Yeah.
Jameson in it, and then I don't know what else, but it was like a frozen coffee, and then the shot of you could put an extra shot of Jameson in it if you needed to really pick yourself back up from the night before, which was very nice. And we also saw like we went and stopped at one of the local spots that they had. It was a bar, and they had everybody, just everybody that was there So many of them were just very musically inclined. They brought their own instruments and they were just switching out drummers, switching out guitar players, switching out bass players with a ukulele. They were switching out the piano guy, switching out the they had a trombone guy that, oh my gosh, he played the trombone amazingly. So just like the music, the atmosphere, everything about this place is a lot of fun. So if you haven't vacationed there, you really should. If you're looking at Airbnbs, this would be a great spot for you to get an Airbnb.
Oh wow, yeah.
Don't you think?
Well, yeah. It's year round.
Mhm.
New Orleans
It's
is
all the
year
time.
around. It's not like, oh, during the summer it's a busy season, or Mardi Gras is in February.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, they don't need a reason to. They have a reason to party. There's something going on.
Yeah.
So really, if you were going to invest in B&B, that might be one of the most secure places to do it. Whereas if a lot of people do B&B at lakes and stuff. That's great, but during the winter, that you might not have as many people, taking advantage of that. But in New Orleans, it doesn't matter what
No.
the month is,
Mm-mm.
and we'll go into how to a little bit about how to get a B&B. If you're interested, if you can't afford cash, how to finance one and all that. But you'd be hard pressed to find a city that where your B&B Airbnb would do any better
Oh, absolutely.
consistently than New Orleans. It's really hard to, maybe someplace out in California, that's in
Yeah.
Southern California or something. But yeah, I see real value there for those of people that might be interested in that.
I 100% agree. In fact, that's part of going into my story too. When we went to the Keith Urban concert, because I found out in New Orleans that I won the Keith Urban tickets. We were
Nice.
at a restaurant called Mother's for breakfast.
Others.
And it was so good too. If you go to Mother's, it was recommended by a local to us, so we went and checked it out. They have the best biscuits, homemade biscuits I've ever had in my life. They're so good. Their
Mm.
food was good. The jambalaya, the etouffee, all of that was, oh my god, it was good. It was on point. All the food that we ate there was actually on point. By the way, every place that we went and stopped and eat, it was amazing, amazing. I can put out a list if you want.
Are you talking about just in New Orleans?
Just in New Orleans.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
It,
jambalaya. Oh yeah, you name it. I mean,
yes.
right now I'm like, what's the closest? You know, Cajun restaurant. For after the show, I'm hungry. Let's get you
Yes.
got me thinking. Good,
Crowley.
huh?
Crowley.
Oh yeah, you've got a.
Oh, I
What
can't
am I
remember.
not thinking? Yeah, I'll think of it in a minute.
Yeah, I will too because I know it left my brain. But
It's
yeah, there's one in Crowley now.
yeah,
And
yeah.
they gave it a New Orleans look on the
Blu-rays,
building.
Blu-ray,
Blu-ray. Yes.
Blu-rays, and it looks
Yes.
exactly like it's out of New
It
Orleans.
really does.
Yeah,
It's
and it's
awesome.
a great spot.
Yeah.
Went there with some friends. We could go Friday, and they're doing very well over there. It's actually is a two-story spot, and the food is spot on. Drinks, great crowd over there. Just shout out to Blu-rays because yeah, that's some good Cajun.
All right, I gotta go now because I haven't been yet and I really have been wanting to
Oh
try
yeah,
it.
you need to check it out.
All right, sounds good. That's where we're headed. So after found out about that, that's when we decided to talk to my aunt about staying in Alabama with her at Gulf Shores because it was right there in Orange Beach.
Ooh.
We had our friend Santa go ahead and pick up the tickets for us. He was super sweet to do so. That's when we met him at Floribama. That was our first time to go to Floribama. It was fun. We had a blast. We were tired, but we had fun still, nevertheless.
Must have been a lot of coffee.
It was a lot of
On this
coffee
trip.
and energy drinks.
Yeah, sounds like a lot of music, a lot of eating,
Yes.
and
I put on some weight.
drink. Oh, you looking great.
Well, thank you.
Couldn't tell you went on vacation. So
I
you're
appreciate
yeah.
that. Thanks. Because I feel like if I close to too, but it's okay. I'll get it off. It's not that much. But so after we got the tickets, we went to the Keith Urban concert, and that's where I met this wonderful lady named Barbara. Her name was Babs. She has 18 Airbnbs in Baton Rouge.
Oh wow.
She gave us an amazing, incredible deal on one of her Airbnbs for when we were heading back to Texas.
Nice.
Yeah, it was awesome. And it was such a great place. It was very eerie too. but we were right next door to the police station, so it was awesome.
Hmm.
Where we met two amazing police officers whom I will post very soon and talk about, their like the awesome conversation we had with those guys. Um, but yeah, 18 Airbnbs. Like they're doing really well for themselves, and that's in Baton Rouge.
Oh yeah. Well, when you think about Baton Rouge, you think of the college because it's a
Yes.
college town, LSU.
Yeah.
So you think about the games they have. If you had B&B, everyone, I guarantee you, everyone she's got them. She has no vacancy
Right.
right now. People have already called her, the LSU fans or other fans coming in for, say, Alabama's playing there or Florida or whoever, A&M maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so there's another example of high activity, but that's more football season, fall.
Yeah,
But all the fishing, I mean, Baton Rouge is surrounded by water,
it is.
so you think about the fishing going on, the B&Bs, that's another great place.
And the Gator tours.
Yes.
I'll have to talk about the
Did
Gator
you
tour.
go
We
on
did
one?
get to go on one. We're going to have to go to a
Yeah.
break here soon, but yes.
I've been on too. So yeah,
Oh, I
we can
can't
share
wait to
some
tell you
stories.
guys. Yeah, it's great.
It
It's
is
great.
cool.
And then we'll get into, once we get back to you guys, we're going to talk to you, like I said, or like he said, like Jason said, that we're going to talk to you a little bit more about what it takes to own an Airbnb, how you can get with a lender and, the lending side of it for sure. That way, if you guys are interested, we're giving you great ideas of opportunities out there. So,
Excellent.
all right, we'll be back, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.
Hey, Jill, congratulations on your son getting into the college of his dreams and with a full scholarship, too. Yes, we are so proud of him. I have to be honest. I'm a bit worried about our daughter getting into college. It's so competitive out there, and I feel overwhelmed with where to start. I completely understand. Listen, I felt the same way. And then I met Dr. Gina of Education Prep Centers. She put a plan in place that helped our son stand out in the admissions process and that gave us a peace of mind for how to create a financial roadmap for his future. Wow, that's great. Sounds like I need to give her a call. Yes, she definitely helped our son find the perfect college, meet all his deadlines, and help us feel less anxious about the whole process. You need to reach out to her. Just check out educationprepcenters.com and set up a complimentary assessment with Dr. Gina. You'll be so glad you did. Education Prep Centers, college admissions made easy.
Out of deck carpet giving you the blues? Tired of your old dingy and broken tile? Let my friends at the Floor Store in Cleveland, Texas give your home the makeover it deserves. This is Old Taco Joe coming to you for the Floor Store. Whether it's carpet, tile, wood flooring, or real wood laminate, the Floor Store can cover all of your flooring needs. Located at 405 West Henderson Street in Cleveland, Texas, owner Brent Harris can help. Shower tile, tub surrounds, even backsplashes. Give them a call today at 817-641-9444. The Floor Store, they got you covered. When you're hungry for tender brisket or some delicious homemade cobbler, then look no further than Leach Brothers Barbecue, located at 1106 East Henderson, Cleveland, Texas. Leach Brothers has been family owned and operated since 1950. Take it from me, Taco Joe Orwinski. Todd and his family have been filling my belly breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a long time. Heck, I even have my own booth, open Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Come see them for dine-in, carry-out, and all your catering needs.
Serving Johnson County, Texas, Joco Community Radio.
All right, all right, all right. Welcome back. Joco Community Radio is proud to be the voice of Johnson County, Texas, and is live 365 on the TuneIn Radio Network. To listen or watch, simply go to tuneinjoco.com to choose where and how. The Joco Community Radio app is now available for free on Android and Apple devices. Simply search your store. Check out our lineup and more on jococommunityradio.com. This episode and more brought to you by Patriot Claims, making your insurance work for you. Reach out to your Texas sales rep and my dear friend Nona Reed at 844-839-4245. All right, guys. Hello, hello. We are back to talk a little bit more about some New Orleans and Baton Rouge
And some swamp tours.
and some swamp tours. Yes,
So,
that's where we're going to
got to
start.
talk about gators, or everybody's gonna be like, What's this about? You didn't see a gator?
Oh, we did. I saw
Okay,
so many. Oh my
all
goodness.
right. What you got?
So we got on the airboat. I got to sit at the top. Darren was sitting like at the bottom. And which was great because I got to watch him like when he was so the guy that was driving the boat, he was phenomenal. He did so great. Great job on scaring all of us too with the way he was driving that boat and going through the vegetation. Oh my gosh. And then like we jumped up out of the air and down and I could see my husband just grabbing the oh shit bar.
Uh-huh. Yes,
It was great.
that does exist.
It does exist. And I was kind of too, I'm not even gonna lie, because there was a couple of times I was like, okay, but I had a blast. It was so much fun. The guy got down, he was feeding the gators marshmallows.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah, I'm serious. And they were coming
Marshmallows.
up to the boat. As soon as they saw us, he would make like a little Yui kind of and come back around. And then they come right up to the boat and he was reaching down. He pet the alligators. I was like, I am not sticking my hand
Mm.
anywhere near there. And then the last gator that we saw, his name was Lefty. And Darren thought it would be funny to stick his hand down kind of and try to get the gator to come up a little closer. The gator almost took off his arm. I was like, babe, what are you doing? Stop it.
Oh.
Yeah, ridiculous. I was like, oh my gosh. So, talk about having more than just going to the bars and seeing all of that. While we were in New Orleans, we also got to see a gator tour.
Yeah, and I did that one of the times I went there, and what amazed me, being on boats, in lakes, several of them in Texas, you have control, but you don't. Sometimes you don't have as much control in a boat, like a ski boat and stuff. But these guys, yeah, they'll try to scare you, but in their mind, they know what they're doing.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
these airboats with a big fan on them that we're talking about, just flat boats, the amount of control that they have on that water and what they can make them do and go, like there'd be two posts up in the water, like a field goal. Well, as you're heading towards it, not knowing, you're like, oh my God, what if we hit one of these things? We could go right through. Just
Yeah.
total control. Because after you see those big gators on the side, well, like my guy didn't sit there and like feed them, because I'd been like, I don't know about that. I don't really, I don't want to cut. How hard would it have been for him to jump up in the bottom of that? Not very hard if one
Yeah.
really wanted to.
Yeah,
I've
they
seen
were
those
sweet
gators.
though.
Yeah, they're sweet.
They were super sweet with him.
Yeah, with him, I'm sure. We'll see. But it was amazing to see how many are there along the banks, how big they get, but then you're sitting there, you're always thinking, what if we broke down? Well, what if I had to like swim to the shore? And it's you just sit there and you're like, try to put it out of your mind and enjoy the beauty, because it's awesome. A swamp. I highly suggest doing a swamp tour.
Yeah,
If you guys are
absolutely.
down there, Baton Rouge or Louisiana, you got to check it out at least once.
I would say wait for them to come get you with a different boat because that's all vegetation in that water.
Yeah.
There is no shore
Yeah.
until you get until they take you back to where there's land.
Mhm.
Majority of that where you're at with them is all. I mean, and when I mean vegetation, I mean floating vegetation within the water. So you might be able to stand for like a second or two, but you're going under.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely out there. No, actually, we saw banks where the gators would actually dig underneath and have their nest, like in the mud banks and stuff. So where we
Ooh.
were, we saw. But no, you're right. That's not what I mean by swimming the land.
Yeah, don't swim.
No, because if the gators don't get you,
You're gonna drown.
The snakes will get you.
Oh, yeah,
Some will
snakes.
get you.
Yes.
So stay in the boat.
Stay in the boat.
Yes.
And I'm sure they'll tell you to do that possibly. I don't know. He didn't say anything about that. I think they make sure that they're gassed up. They make sure that they've been properly,
Oh, yeah.
maintenanced and things like that because you're paying for them to take you around the swamp.
And they want you to refer.
Absolutely.
Friends, and I've never heard anything going bad
No.
on any of them. So now I've heard of you get some guys on their own taking a
Oh,
airboat
yeah.
out with some guns, going to go gator hunting. I've heard about wrecks there, but
Oh,
there
yes.
tends to be moonshine or something involved, and guns, and an airboat and gators. I mean, how many bad things you gonna put together at once and hope that everything works out? But
Yeah,
no,
get a
these
tour
guys,
guide.
yeah, get a tour guide. These guys are good. They very professional. You're
They
not in
are.
any danger, and
Yeah.
it is awesome.
I
So cool.
loved it.
I'm glad you did that.
I
It's
did. I
awesome.
had a blast.
Brings back memories for me.
Right. I know now it sounds like you need to go
I
back.
know.
It was
Gotta
so
check
much
it out.
fun. And I loved being able to just spend that time with my husband, but we did meet some awesome people along the way that really gave us some different insight. Like we met this couple that's from San Antonio and we're staying friends with them and we're going to actually go visit them in September. So, because we pretty much spent the whole time in New Orleans with this couple. Like
Oh,
it was
nice.
awesome. Yeah. We had a blast with it. We just like connected. Like he's a drummer like my husband. He has a Harley. Well, he had a Harley, he sold it, but he was looking actually at buying a new one
Okay.
because he wanted a more comfortable one for him and his wife. And it was their anniversary and it was super cool. And they knew they had been